Hi guys, and welcome to the Southend vs Sunderland match review, and we have lost by 2-1. Now, before we get into it, I just want to congratulate Southend because, of course, that win means that they have now survived and they will be staying in League One, which is, great for them. So well done to them. But going on to the performance, and it was absolutely piss poor. It was so bad, and to think that we've basically come into our worst run of form of the season at the most important part of the season, it's going to make things really difficult for us now in the playoffs. And I try and stay as positive as humanly possible, but it's pretty shit. It is pretty shit to think that I think we've got, I think 6 points from the last, how many games. Basically, we're in relegation form at the minute. We really are. We've been that bad, and we're even worse than Fleetwood today. I mean, Southend come out, and I'm going to give credit to them because the game started. We had McLaughlin in goal, we had Hume, we had Flanagan, Ozturk, and Matthews across the back. We had Leadbitter and Power in the middle, Maguire and Gooch, with Wyke and Grigg up top. So that's a 4-4-2. So first of all, I thought, right, okay, at least Jack Ross has gone for it. You can clearly see he wants goals. He's got 2 up top, although we have tried a 4-4-2 before this season, and it's never really come off for me. It's never really come off. But, you can see what he's gone for, Jack Ross. But we just couldn't match their intensity at any part in the game. It was blatant and clear to see that we were playing a team that are obviously fighting for their lives. They were right in our faces, straight from the off. Whereas we were so far behind them in terms of intensity, so far behind them. They come out right in our face, like I say, and when we had the ball, we were just so slow. There's no movement off the ball. We're taking 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch before even considering passing the ball on. It just gives them the opportunity to, to tighten, squeeze us, and it leaves us with no options. And for the first 20-25 minutes, we didn't have a sniff. We didn't have a chance at all. Half the time when we had possession, it was across our back four for the first 20-25 minutes, and Southend really did push us. And their first real chance was Matthews, who was giving it away all afternoon. He did give it away, so it broke straight down the middle after Matthews giving it away. 1-1 with the keeper, and McLaughlin, for the millionth time this season, saves our arses with a cracking save. And if it weren't for McLaughlin, we'd easily be mid-table or even less. So I think to say that we're 5th now, as shit as it seems, I think we're probably freaking lucky, because of McLaughlin. But yes, they kept the pressure on. They had some chances, and we did manage to get forward eventually for the final sort of 5 minutes of the first half. With a great chance with Maguire cut inside from the right, and rather than hitting it across goal, which I think he should have done, he's gone for the near post and he's hit it into the side net. Another time where I think it's pretty much 5-on-4 in our favour. Gooch had it on the left hand side, and it was the most Gooch thing ever. It was lovely football, to be fair to us. Power laid it on for Maguire out to Gooch on the left hand side. He had the whole of the freaking field to himself on the left hand side. All he had to do was cut it back to either Maguire or Wyke, who was sitting on the edge of the box or around the penalty area, screaming for the ball, and he just absolutely lashed it across goal to no one. I don't know what the hell he's seen, but it was just wasteful chances like that where, if you want to do anything in this league, you have to take those chances, and we didn't. And eventually they did have a corner. It was whipped in. I can't remember who it was, but one of our defenders it was headed away, but not away enough. It was headed directly into the air, dropped down to their centre back of all players, who performed a very acrobatic sort of almost like a bicycle kick, and it's gone in. Fair play to them, and it was 100% deserved because we were absolutely shit. Leadbitter, I think, in the middle, you'd be forgiven if you forgot he was even there. The only thing he had on the pitch was, set pieces today when he tried to cause a bit of danger with free kicks or with corners, with deliveries, because we know he does have a cracking delivery. But other than that, I forgot he was on the pitch half the time. It was Power who's doing most of the running, most of the work in midfield, whereas Leadbitter, honestly, at times he just looked like an old man just trotting around and didn't do much at all. Leadbitter. Wyke, to be fair to him, I think he was really good today. Although some may argue with me, I do think he was really good. He was really battling up there, and Grigg didn't get a sniff. I mean, White was winning things in the air. He was coming deep to try and get the ball and get on the ball, and you can see his confidence is up, White, because he is getting this runner run of games with the team, and he wants to be on the ball a hell of a lot more, which is good to see from Pike, although it just didn't go well for him today, or nothing really fell for him today. Second half, and we really weren't much better, to be honest with you. It was Southend kind of pushing us without creating too much in that second half. But we did have a couple of little chances. Maguire lashed it from outside the box, as did Ledbetter. Ledbetter's strike going just wide. I think we should have got an earlier penalty. It was pulled across goal after Luke O'Nien did come on and he changed the game. That is what kind of put us on the attacking front, because in that second half, like I say, we were piss poor again, pretty much exactly the same as the first half. O'Nien come on, Kaz Sterling come on, Grid come off and Power come off, and it did change the game in our favour a little bit, because Luke O'Nien, we know what he's like. Rather than playing it right back, they stuck him in midfield and he was running, and he has that engine on him, and he was bringing us up the field quickly, whereas before we weren't. We were just static all over the shot. And he did bring us forward, and I'm pretty sure it was Luke O'Nien who did put it across goal. It looked like White was just going to tap it in, and he got hacked from behind, and the ref gave absolutely nothing. But a penalty eventually was given, where ball over the top. White is trying to go for it. It's just before White and the goalkeeper, but their defender comes in, pushes White in the back. Really, really soft, to be fair, but a penalty was given. Maguire tucked it away, 1-1, and I thought that's probably how it's going to finish. Felt a bit sorry for Southend, because I thought that they deserved a win, but they ended up getting the win. The lad in the mask, Humphreys, it was piss poor defending. It's just such bad defending from Flanagan, and they're absolutely all over the place. It's a scramble in the box, but they're absolutely all over the show. And Humphreys tucks it underneath McLaughlin. It's 2-1. It's finished 2-1. It's the least we deserved, because we weren't good enough, and Southend were better on the day. But we're going into the playoffs. As shit as it is, and I'm trying my absolute hardest not to be negative, because we're going into playoffs. There's no point in being negative now, because although automatics have gone, we need to stay as positive as possible going into play, because we still have the opportunity to go up. And we are taking on Portsmouth now, because Portsmouth have dropped points today. And to be fair, although Portsmouth have been our bogey team this year, throughout the season, I think us and Portsmouth are having that dip in form now, so they will probably be the best team to play right now. I wouldn't want to go anywhere near Charlton right now, because they're absolutely fucking flying. They're absolutely smashing it, Charlton, at the minute. Doncaster, they're in a bit inconsistent form, sort of win one, lose one, draw one, but Charlton are flying. So I think if anyone I'd like to play, it would probably be Portsmouth. So we'll be playing Portsmouth at home. We'll be playing at home in the first leg, and then of course away in the second. So that's what we've got to look forward to. But hopefully we're missing massively the likes of McGeady and Morgan today for that little bit of pace and creativity going forward, because we were just so static and so slow. And I think Power and Ledbetter in the middle, they're relatively similar. I just think Power's just a bit more mobile. It can move that little bit quicker, but it still isn't quick enough. They're far too similar. And when you play 4-4-2 and you've got two sort of holding midfielders in the middle, it slows the play down. And especially if you don't have the pace on the wings to try and complement those holding midfielders, then they can push the ball forward. Then you're not going to go anywhere, because we were going at snail's pace from the first minute until the last today. And I'm hoping that next week, next Saturday, we can change that, and hopefully Ross will, stick with him, and hopefully Ross will put a rocket up their arse, and we'll see a much, much better display at the Stadium Light in his first leg of the playoff semi-final, because we need to. Today was shit. It definitely was just the perfect example of a team that really, really needed something, a team that looked just a bit too comfortable, and that was us. And I'm hoping, it would have been so much easier, or it would have been so much better to go into the playoffs with a win, because it really would have put confidence on the play, give confidence to the players, because, like I say, this over the last few games, it's been our first real poor run of form. I mean, over the course of the season, we've obviously had runs of draws and the odd performances that weren't great, but we've still managed to get a draw and stuff. But we're starting to lose games now, which we haven't had all the season. The players aren't used to it, because we went so long without losing, or only losing one game for so long, and now we've lost, a handful of games in a relatively short space of time, and the players aren't used to that. They haven't had to deal with that all season, and a lot of those players look like they were empty on confidence. So I think if we do manage to hopefully get a decent result in the first leg, then I am confident that that we can do Portsmouth over 2 legs, because overall I think that we can do a job on Portsmouth. I do fully believe that. Portsmouth have some very good star quality players, but I think from the amount of times we played Portsmouth this season, it is a very 50-50 game. I've seen halves when we've played them and I think, we've absolutely battered them there, we should have smashed them, but then it'd be vice versa in the next half. But we'll have to see, keep our heads up, and hope to God that we can do something in the playoffs here, because we need to be a hell of a lot better than what we've been today to get anywhere near the playoff final, let alone just play well in the semi-finals. But that'll be it, guys. I'll give my man of the match, Charlie White, today. I think he was good. He was getting kicked about all over the place today, but he didn't let his head drop once, and I think he really worked his arse off today, Charlie White, so we'll give it to him. But if you have enjoyed the video, guys, please hit the like button for me. It'd be massively appreciated, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already, to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, you take care and stay jamming.